Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Raquel with your weekly oracle reading for December 14 to 20. Wow. The energy is really building again. So last week I talked about this wave energy, the crest and then the fall. And I talked about that sense of rising with the crest, the heavy energy that's bringing us up, and then the crash of the fall. And it feels like we are in another cycle of that again. Last week I talked about the fall, and it's like Mother Earth is teaching us to surf. And I'm feeling that we're at the top of the wave again. That energy is coming in many ways. For me personally, I'm feeling it in a sense of overwhelm. Like there's so much good, there's so much added energy that's coming in that it almost kind of leads to a sense of overwhelm. So it forces the return to our wild nature, that essence that I've talked about for December, call of the wild. It's like we have to get into that sense and awareness of our physical body so that we can titrate our energy and not overexpend in some times and then underexpend in other times and get off balance. So I'm seeing this rise and fall of the wave like a yin yang moving around. It's the inhale, exhale. What was it? Yeah, yin yang, that was all I wanted to say. The yin yang and the rise and fall. And it's like we're learning to navigate in the dark of the yin that has probably always been a challenge for us, but it's happening so rapidly now. The rise, fall, rise, fall, rise, fall, that we don't have a lot of time in either to get really comfortable. And it's like Mother Earth is trying to teach us not to get comfortable in either of those places. It's that constant movement back and forth between the two. Because as I see it, the way that we are all moving as a collective is away from polarization, left, right, cut down the midline of the body, divorcing parts of ourselves, divorcing parts of society. And we're coming back into a unity consciousness, balancing the left and right hemisphere of the brain, the yin, yang, the masculine, feminine, and making sure that those cross over the center line of the body for our best health. So that is one piece that I see. And really, it's about learning to trust ourselves. You know, it's like I've talked about this before, but in yoga, when you're doing a difficult pose on the mat, the translation of that is being able to do a difficult pose in the world. Another example of that in terms of getting into your body, and something that I really encourage you to do, I don't think I mentioned this in the December Soul Message, but something that I've been adding just for circulation and heat. When we're in the fall going into winter, we move into this area where the heat in our body has to be generated from our own body because there isn't as much heat outside, right? So one of the ways that we can trigger our circulation and our immune system is by doing hydrotherapy in the shower, hot and cold. So what I've been doing is, take your shower normal, and then at the end, you flip it to cold for a count of 20, and it will feel terrible. Just let it point at your belly to get that heat going. And then you turn it back to warm for 2 minutes, go back to cold for another 20 seconds. And then the chef's kiss is when you turn around and you let it go on your back. And there's like a, ooh, but that cold, that response in your body that does that, that's triggering your immune system. That's triggering the fire in your belly. It's bringing that circulation back. So anyways, that's one thing I offer. The other piece that I'm seeing is this sense of static electricity. And it reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Steel Magnolias, when Dolly Parton says, there's so much static electricity in here, I pick up everything but boys and money. And it's like, that's what's happening now. There's this static current of, the finger, the hand to the doorknob, and it goes static after you've been walking on carpet. But that's happening with people. That's happening with situations. That's happening with, the next steps in your business. The whole thing, it's just like boom, boom, boom. They're coming in really quickly. For the December soul message, I talked about that I was looking into partnering with doTERRA, and I just did that this last week. So I'm waiting for my first order, which feels painful after getting used to, Amazon 2-day shipping. But should be here middle of next week, I think. And then I will be talking more about that and supporting you with different oils. So if you're a current client and I have offered you oils in the past or recommended them, but didn't have anywhere for you to get them, I do now. So hit me up. But I'll be doing some, some videos on specific oils and helping to guide you through that. But that's just one piece for me. And we also remember for December, we're in that energy of the creator and the mentor. And then last week we added the energy of the pilgrim. So there's movement associated with this. And so that static electricity, it's like our people, the things that we're supposed to connect to, it's like we can't even avoid them anymore. They're just coming and finding us and just igniting that spark. And then the last thing is, I'm calling it, in my notes here, I wrote 0 point energy. So there's this sense of, there's like a sorting and organizing energy. And I think what's coming up is like, we're here at the end of the year with all of this wildness and certainly all of the pain and suffering and difficulty and just the dumpster fire that 2020 has been. However, there has been a lot of beauty and a lot of lessons. I know for me, I feel like I learned more about myself in this year than ever before. And so there's this sorting and organizing that's happening with things, people, places, ideas. It might be about moving. It might be about changing the people that are in your life. It might be about changing things in your work, changing the location of where you live. And those things are starting to come. But what I'm noticing is that there's a natural cadence to them and we can't push them. We can't move things into place faster than they're ready to go. But what we can do is hold space, the container, that's the yin energy that we're learning to cultivate. We can hold space for ourselves and for the change. And then when we see what it is that's supposed to go where, we can pop it in with a yang energy. It's easier to recognize that and then put it into place, right? So the other piece about that is, to use Byron Katie's language, is loving what is. So when there's an extra quality to that sorting and organizing, and there's a difficulty, there's a pain in having to see what is and love what is, even if it isn't what we want it to be. And so there is a little bit of grief energy that's kind of heavy here as we let go of things that we thought we wanted, thought we needed, maybe relationships that have been around for a long time, maybe a location of living, a work, something that is been around for a long time, and either you've been clinging on to it and not wanting to let it evolve out of fear of change or whatever the reason is, but now it's kind of like, like I've been talking about the wisdom of the earth coming out. It's like you can't ignore it anymore. It's just like, okay, that person's not supposed to be in my life, or that person is supposed to be in my life, or I got to move out of here, whatever it is. So anyway, let's see what card we have, and it's going to be this one. Oh, did I not just say the chef's kiss? There it is, the kiss. Okay, so we've got some hand holding, we've got the lunar energy, and we just have a solar eclipse happening today. So also, I think that rise and fall of the ocean waves, I think that's going to be present with us throughout this eclipse season. So we just had one 2 weeks ago, and then one today, and then I know there's a massive conjunction happening, and I forget which planets it is, on the 21st, the solstice. And I'm not sure, I believe there might be another eclipse that day too. Okay, so the kiss, the touch, the chemistry, the sex. Already that's like the unification of the left and right, masculine, feminine. Before a first kiss, the air is electrified. That's exactly what I'm talking about with this static electricity. Each breath is alive with possibility and magic. What will their lips be like? Their tongue? Do they want me in return? The archetypal energy of the kiss is a heightened sensation of merging with other, of letting in what was moments ago separate. So what I'm seeing with this example here is that rise and fall of the ocean. There's the heightened sensation of merging, and then once the merging has happened, there's the letting go back into the yin. So two become one. It is risky but beautiful business. These moments forever change us as we move past the solitary self toward union and acceptance. This card suggests true intimacy is around the corner, which requires bravery and surrender. Oh, that almost makes me want to cry. I've been feeling that call to deeper, truer intimacy in a way. And in fact, a friend of mine, Sherry, hello, love, if you're watching, what we were just talking about this a couple days ago, and she was using the term the naked truth of ourselves and being with that, and the naked truth of someone else. It's like that intimacy when you are naked and you can't, cover yourself up or hold any part of yourself back. And it does require bravery and surrender. When the kiss takes a non-human form, it may be experienced as touching the sacred, hearing a whisper, or being graced by a divine being. You will recognize the presence of the kiss by cold chills and an awakening of the heart. Absolutely beautiful. When light, sensual expressiveness, merging, inviting. When dark, neediness, pressure, dominance, disrespect. It says to go deeper, Andy Warhol's 1963 film Kiss. Write down the story of your first kiss. What was changed in that moment? Intimacy is multi-layered and requires a reflection. Revisit what you consider to be sensual, taboo, acceptable, shameful. That is so beautiful, because that piece right there, the shame of the sex, I'm just going to go there, in the church has been so damaging for us. We've made it taboo, shameful, something that we need to hide. We need to hide our sexuality. In fact, one of the oils that I ordered, is one of the more expensive oils that you can buy, not just in doTERRA, but is rose. And to me, it is the vibration of unconditional love. It's like if you want to commune with the energy of Mother Mary, Mother Earth, Mary Magdalene, like that energy is there. It's like complete and total acceptance. And it's calling to me right now, because I'm feeling the need to like fall into the loving arms and the embrace of Mother Earth, to let me know, to remind my system and my physical body, my fight or flight system, that I'm safe and that it's okay. And it's okay to move into this, this level of intimacy with others and with self. We don't need to other people. We don't need to separate ourselves from each other, and we're not going to die in intimacy, even though it feels like it sometimes, like, oh, we feel like we're going to lose ourselves if we offer or give too much. And it's so beautiful that this is coming at the time of Christmas, which is all about giving and receiving. Even if we're not with our loved ones physically or in the same capacity, however you're navigating that. But anyway, so that is a beautiful card to add to this month. So stay tuned for more on doTERRA oils and all of those good things. And I have another teacher that's shown up. So there's going to be a lot of expansion energy, I feel, coming in the new year. But this essence I'm feeling here for December and for January are integration of what happened for the whole year, integration from all of the retrograde cycles that we had, moving through this navigation of the rise and fall, and being prepared. There's a research, there's a study, there's a mentor energy here that's preparing us for what's next to come for us individually and collectively in the new year. So blessings to you. Have a wonderful week, and namaste.